Most people never think twice about what's under their feet, but for Marcus Allen, carpets are more than just fibers and stains. They're a livelihood, a business, a second chance. At 34, Marcus makes over $7,000 every month cleaning carpets, and he didn't get there through luck or inheritance or connections. He got there with a van, a second-hand carpet extractor, and a decision to stop waiting for the perfect job to fall into his lap. It started when he was laid off from his warehouse job during a round of corporate downsizing, 2 months into unemployment. With bills stacking up and eviction notices growing more threatening by the week, Marcus found himself at rock bottom. One night, scrolling through YouTube in a haze of stress and caffeine, he landed on a video titled, "How I Started a Carpet Cleaning Business with $500. He didn't even remember clicking it, but 20 minutes later, something in him shifted. Maybe it was the simplicity of it all: water, detergent, suction, repeat. Or maybe it was the idea of being his own boss, of never being at the mercy of some HR department again. Either way, the next morning he drove to a pawn shop, bought a used carpet extractor for $275, picked up a gallon of professional cleaner, and posted a Craigslist ad offering $49 carpet cleanings for up to 3 rooms. The first week, he got one call from a single mom in a nearby neighborhood with a toddler and a very suspicious smell in her living room carpet. Marcus didn't even have a van yet. He stuffed his gear into the back of his girlfriend's hatchback and drove over, heart pounding, hands shaking, praying he wouldn't mess it up. The job took him 3 hours. He went over the same patch 6 times until it looked almost new, and when he was done, the mom tipped him $20 and left a glowing review on Facebook. That review brought in 3 more clients, and those 3 brought in 7 more. He reinvested every dollar, buying better chemicals, flyers, a small website, and eventually a branded van he found on Facebook Marketplace. Within 6 months, Marcus was making more than he ever did at the warehouse. But it wasn't just the income, it was the control, the pride, the satisfaction of seeing a filthy carpet turn clean in front of his eyes. He began documenting his work online, posting dramatic before and after photos on Instagram and TikTok, using hashtags like #satisfyingclean and #carpettransformation, and people loved it. Clients began requesting specific time slots just to be featured in one of his videos. He created a Google My Business profile, optimized it for SEO, and asked every satisfied customer to leave a 5-star review. Word spread. Realtors began calling for move-out cleanings. Property managers hired him on monthly retainers. He began offering upsells, deodorizing, pet stain treatment, upholstery cleaning. His average job went from $49 to $145, and by the end of year 1, he had cleared over $70,000. He never expected to fall in love with carpet cleaning, but there was something deeply human about it. The stories in each stain, the sense of order restored. There was the apartment where a new mom cried when he got a red wine spill out of her nursery carpet, the bachelor who couldn't believe the color of his rug was actually light beige, the old woman who hadn't cleaned her floors since her husband died 5 years earlier and now insisted on baking him cookies after every visit. Marcus treated every job like it was the first. He wore a uniform, showed up on time, explained the process, and educated his clients on how to maintain their carpets between visits. He wasn't just removing dirt, he was restoring trust in a service industry many had grown cynical about. Eventually, he hired his cousin to help with bigger jobs and paid him $20 per hour, far more than any fast food gig could offer. He bought a truck mount machine, allowing for deeper cleans in less time, and launched a subscription model, $99 quarterly cleanings with priority booking and discounts on extras. By his second year, Marcus was booked solid 6 days a week, earning around $7,000 per month consistently, and taking Sundays off to rest, plan, and occasionally teach free workshops at the community center for other people trying to start service-based businesses. His advice was always the same: start small, focus on people, and reinvest before you reward yourself. He still drove an old van. He still answered every phone call himself. He didn't outsource customer service because he believed that his voice, his care, his professionalism was part of what made his brand unique. And in an era of digital noise and fast money schemes, Marcus's slow, steady rise stood out. Carpet cleaning, after all, wasn't glamorous. It didn't promise Ferraris or private jets. But it was real, tangible, honest work. And that honesty, combined with hustle, strategy, and a surprising level of social media savvy, turned Marcus from an unemployed warehouse worker into a thriving entrepreneur. His story began in desperation, but today, he wakes up with purpose. Every job is a chance to serve, to connect, and to build a reputation that no boss could ever take away from him. He now mentors young men just like he once was, lost, jobless, unsure of their worth, and shows them how to extract not just stains, but opportunity from the fabric of life itself. With a vacuum hose in hand and sweat on his brow, Marcus proved that sometimes the path to financial freedom doesn't come from coding boot camps or stock tips or overnight fame. It comes from doing what others won't, doing it well, and doing it again, one carpet at a time. Marcus had no investors, no business degree, no fancy marketing team behind him, just grit, consistency, and a belief that people still noticed quality when they saw it. As his income stabilized, he began thinking long-term, not just about making money, but about building something that could outlast him. He set aside a portion of every month's revenue into a growth fund, and after 18 months, he had enough saved to rent a small industrial unit where he could store his gear, detail his van, and meet with clients who wanted in-person consultations. He installed a wall-mounted whiteboard where he mapped out goals in erasable marker, expand service area, launch YouTube channel, hire second team. And slowly, item by item, he crossed those goals off. He hired a part-time assistant to handle bookings and client follow-ups, freeing up his time to focus on high-ticket jobs and growing his online presence. That's when things really took off. His TikTok videos began going viral, one after another, showing slow-motion clips of murky water being sucked out of old carpets, with dramatic soundtracks and captions like, "This carpet hadn't been cleaned in 10 years. Some got millions of views. He began to receive DMs not only from clients, but from aspiring cleaners across the country, asking how to get started, what machines to buy, how to find their first customer. So he wrote a beginner's guide and sold it for $19.99, simple, honest, no upsell. It made $2,000 in the first week alone. That's when Marcus realized he wasn't just in the carpet cleaning business anymore, he was in the transformation business. Transforming floors, yes, but also mindsets, incomes, lives. He began offering one-on-one coaching, not to get rich quick, but to teach people the way he wished someone had taught him. He was careful about it, still grounded, still hands-on, still cleaning carpets himself 6 days a week, but now his income was no longer capped by how many homes he could visit in a day. He was building a brand, not just a business. He trademarked his name, redesigned his logo, and bought a custom-built van wrapped with eye-catching graphics that turned heads on the highway. At local business expos, people lined up to meet the carpet guy from TikTok, and every now and then, someone would recognize him on the street and say they bought a cleaner because of him. And that meant more than any paycheck. He never wanted fame, only freedom, but if visibility helped him help more people, he welcomed it. In year 3, he hit his first $100,000 year. Not in revenue, profit. And not because he raised prices sky high, but because he kept his operations lean, negotiated smart bulk deals with chemical suppliers, and refused to grow faster than his quality could sustain. He launched a second crew, trained from scratch in his exact process, and refused to hire anyone who didn't treat clients with the same care and respect he did. His biggest fear wasn't failure, it was mediocrity. He knew that one lazy job, one rude technician, could ruin the trust he'd worked years to build. So he kept his standards high and his circle small. Every team member had to do a test job with him personally, sweating in attics, pulling hoses through tight hallways, cleaning urine stains from old carpets without complaint, before they got to wear the company shirt. He also expanded his services, tile and grout, mattress cleaning, car interiors. Each one was added only after mastering the skill and testing the results. He didn't want to be the biggest, just the best. But as demand grew, so did his reputation. Property managers started offering annual contracts. Hotels called. A luxury condo development asked if he could be their exclusive cleaner. And yet he never stopped doing small jobs, never refused a single mom needing one room cleaned before her baby's birthday party. Because that was where he came from, and he never forgot. He kept a framed photo of that first Craigslist ad on the wall of his office, right next to a screenshot of his first $7,000 month, and whenever things got hard, when equipment broke, when clients ghosted payments, when exhaustion crept in, he'd look at that wall and remind himself how far he'd come, and what he still had left to build.